So here's the thing, the newest episode and the last episode of season 1 of Solo Leveling dropped, and it was, first of all, again, I'm getting tired of having to repeat this every single time, but hey, you do pay close attention to what happens in Solo Leveling each episode, and you notice a trend of A1 Pictures and Aniplex behind it as the producer, dedicating a huge amount of, let's say, probably money and resources, better said, to the anime studio, to the anime project, of Solo Leveling, the super popular manhwa that we have here. This last episode that we had, was an absolute blast, and I did not imagine, considering that the last episode we had, episode 11, before 12, for being Mr. Obvious here, ancient memes. I'm from the 9gag era, 2011. We used to sit down in the library, open our laptops, and during lunch break or something, and just go through 9gag and be like absolute morons and laugh at the stuff. Chat roulette came out recently in that year, I do remember, or at least we discovered that, and in classes we try to chat roulette, and yeah, after going through many old people and let's say wrinkled peepees and penises, we would actually get to a beautiful lady that would either turn out to be not even real and just a video on loop, or would be like the best chat we ever saw, and bro, those were the times. So, okay, episode 11, we had one of the absolute best fight scenes in the episode, in the series, in the anime that we got so far. And I never thought that the next episode, some fight with the knights that, of course, they're important to the story, would end up being one of the best that we could actually ask for and have. That goes to show that how much they care for Solo Leveling, the anime, and compare that to Ninja Kamui, an overhyped piece of trash that somehow is getting attention, and some people are just hyping it up for the views and stuff. That we had like the one of the best, or let's say most important, not best, fight scenes with one of the most important villains, and that was an absolute disaster in execution, in creating the atmosphere, and in everything they had. Then on the other hand, Sung Jin-woo just battling one of the knights has better fight choreography, better sound, better visuals, and better everything, and just clears that by a huge margin. And here's the thing, this anime was amazing. You won't get that in the source. So considering the amazing job that the studio has done, the people working on it have done, and you can see many of the storyboards and Sokuba stuff and the key animators list on the screen, I do imagine that the next seasons would be amazing too. So I do kindly ask you to just give it some time, considering that season 2 has been adapted, and if you are anime only, you would be in for some beautiful fight scenes and treats later on in the story. Content wise, there isn't much to discuss, and I'm going to be absolutely honest with you, except the big changes that they made. Let me rephrase that. Going into the psychology of Sung Jin-woo doesn't do us any shit at this point, because there is not much going on, and it's a pretty standard trope of shonen that you see the flashbacks, or let's say not the flashbacks, the semi-hallucination of weak Sung Jin-woo telling a strong Sung Jin-woo that, bro, you are still so weak, man, you can't do shit, man, you have never changed, man, and he goes on and he decides to change, and there's not much on that part. But let's go over to something pretty interesting before the main plate, and that's how the penalty quest, the thingy, was executed. And do remember, I did talk about that, I think, or here at the English channel, that the quest that they had, the daily quest that he failed to actually tackle and saved him, does seem like a plot armor. But do remember that there is a dialogue that he says, hey, is the system trying to save me, like nice timing and stuff. And I do leave that to your imagination and to the next many chapters you see. I might be bullshitting just to defend Solo Leveling, or this could be canon material that you are going to see later on. So let's jump onto the Jeju Island situation, but before that, every single scene that had Igris was fucking amazing, and that brings me joy because I'm an Igris fan. The Blood Red Commander getting the attention it deserve is a joy to my eyes and to my everything, to my daily life. So let's go to the Jeju Island situation. I did talk about it, that it could be the make or break it moment for Solo Leveling, and it turned out to be, no surprises, the make it moment, not the break it moment. And I'm going to explain why. The situation does turn out to be to what I had actually anticipated and talked about in the last review and analysis, and that is the fact that, hey, they changed the story, so they don't go to Jeju Island and stay there for a long while. They intercept an, let's say, winged ant and decide to not go to Jeju Island. As we could see, it did seem like Jeju Island was the island in the distance, and Jeju Island is a real island that exists in real life South Korea, for your information. So what happens here? Jeju Island ants have evolved, and that does happen in the manhwa at chapter 80 something. They have accelerated the story. No, what they have done is make the whole situation more, let's say, logical. So now they know that they have to do the next raid on Jeju Island. Jeju Island has been hyped from the first episode of the anime. There have been plans. What they did here, the huge change they made to the manhwa, that it's huge, is that now they have ample time to coordinate with the countries that they have to coordinate and the many guilds and many people that they are going to send on mission there. It's a huge raid and many important stuff happen on that raid, and it's a monumental raid all in all. It's not a just let's say A rate, I don't know, B rate or anything rate. That whole island is S rank. So now they have time. If I'm not wrong, it takes 1 or 2 months so they get to the part in the story when they go to Jeju Island. From this point in the story that Sung Jin-woo gets the job, the class change, let's say. This is the best case of people working on an anime trying their best to actually improve upon what they had. The whole situation is, let's say, makes much more sense now, and that's amazing. And it hypes me for the season to come. And actually, the extra scenes, the Jeju Island related scenes, were so well implemented into the story and alongside the source material that you would have a hard time distinguishing which one of them are in the manhwa and which one are not if you have not read the manhwa and the source and you are not aware of that. So what is actually pretty interesting here is that, for example, the scene that our friend, the chief hunter association, is talking to his, I think is his assistant, I forgot the name. He actually, the whole conversation they have is linked to Sung Jin-woo leveling up and the concept of not solo leveling up. That is what we see here later on in the story, that Sung Jin-woo is leveling up solo, but the next arc and what comes after that is Sung Jin-woo leveling up solo and with allies. This is the whole difference that we are going to see, and this is amazing how they tried and how they succeeded in implementing that and, let's say, connected every single point to each other, even the new scenes. I might make a new video on the S2 situation, some leak I got and some information, but do hold on the manhwa. You will have enough time. And considering that they adapted chapter 42 through 45 completely, I do think that the leak could be pretty much okay and actually alright and, let's say, correct. We will discuss that in another video. Thank you very much for bearing with me over these past weeks with solo leveling analysis. Something that I did notice is that there were fluctuations as to how many people actually watch the videos. I never understood why and how, but I did have videos closing to 1k. I did have videos with not even close to 50, let's say 100 views, like the last one. I did have close to 2k, more than 2k views on some of them. But hey, thank you very much for dropping by. I will do the same for other anime too, and solo leveling when it comes back. I will do the same again too. But I will try to do it with my face and like the same night that it drops, so you will have the analysis very soon. Thank you very much. Have a great day. As we say in Farsi, شبتون بخیر. روزتون بخیر.